रुक रुक आप पीछे जाओ हमारे रुको लो नहीं 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 उधर उधर First off-roading.
Hello guys, so under God's mighty grace, as we are now riding through this Sarchu plain or the Sarchu plateau. Now we will officially be in Ladakh after the Gata loops. So what you can understand is Sarchu plateau, then Gata loops, and then we reach Ladakh. But before we go further, I want to clear up something very important. Now, when people talk about Ladakh, they say that the air is thin there. When people say the air is thin, it doesn't mean there's no air or no wind. What it really means is that oxygen in the air is low. At sea level, oxygen makes up about 21% of the air. But up here in the Ladakh, around or maybe around 13 to 15,000 feet altitude, wherever, not just Ladakh, that can drop to around 11 to 13%. The rest of the gases are still there: nitrogen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and so on. Air pressure still exists, wind still blows, dust still flies. In fact, the wind here can sometimes be stronger than in the plains. Now, if you're riding a carburetor bike, please don't make the mistake of removing your air filter thinking that the engine needs more air to breathe. It's not about more air. It's about the right amount of oxygen mixed with fuel. Just like we humans don't survive by breathing air, we need oxygen. Your engine doesn't run just on air. It needs the correct balance of oxygen and fuel for proper combustion. Now, removing the air filter might let more air in, but that air might also be filled with dust and debris, especially on the off-road stretches and even on the good road stretches, because they are very light. If even a little bit of that dust gets in, it can badly damage the engine or even seize your engine. And some might say, oh, today it's not windy, I'll manage. But trust me, the moment a truck passes by, it kicks up so much dust that it fills the whole road. It might. It doesn't always, but it might. But yes, of course, when a truck goes by, the dust gets the lift. That dust cloud can easily get sucked in your filter, and if your filter isn't there, then you know what I actually mean.
I did not see that.
Now, if your bike feels underpowered, it's better to go for a performance air filter or a free flow exhaust system, which will help. And if it's still not pulling, maybe it's time to reconsider your setup or choose a FI bike which doesn't have carburetor. And definitely it is true that bike CC doesn't really matter when you're going to Ladakh, but there is one thing, that if somebody is going by a bike which is heavy and the power to weight ratio or the power to torque ratio doesn't match, then there is a problem. You understand what I mean? Because you will not only be riding alone, you will also have luggages, and on top of that the bike's weight. So things to consider. And by problem I mean that there will be a slight struggle, you know what I mean? And 100cc 150cc bikes can go, but there will be a slight struggle. This climb that we are riding through now is one of the most iconic stretches on the Manali-Leh highway, the famous Gata loops. This is a set of 21 sharp hairpin bends winding their way up the mountains just after Sarchu. And let me tell you, it is not just challenging but also super scenic. Now, before we go further, a small note about the footage. I'm using the DJI Action 2 camera, and since its external battery module isn't waterproof, and it simply means that it will not even resist the dust, I had to be extra careful on the off-road patches, and some sections were quite dusty because of the trucks, and I did not want to risk damaging the camera, or because I did not want to damage it, so I couldn't record even every rough stretch, but I tried my best to capture as much as possible. And also, not just the rough stretch, I was also a little tired, and to take it out and mount and again shoot was little I was hesitant. So both the bumpy and smooth parts are there in this video, so please bear with me. You are not getting the entire footage of all the destinations or all the points that we will be going through. So after finishing the Gata loops, we start ascending towards our first high altitude pass in Ladakh, the Nakila, which stands about 15,547 feet, around 4,739 meters. The view from up there is totally raw, peaceful, and honestly a bit surreal. Once we cross Nakila, we descend a bit and then begin the climb again to our next pass, Lachungla, which is even higher, about 16,616 feet, roughly around 5,064 meters. It's one of the highest motorable mountain pass in this or on this route. Eventually, after that climb and descent, we reach Pang, a beautiful settlement, and it is nice. We had some Maggie there, and after having Maggie, and maybe we had also coffee, so after having those, for the next video I have an interesting story to tell from this ride. And after the story, the video after this video, that means if this is number 1, then the third video will be a testimony that I would like to share and present in a form of testimony to show how God actually helped us through a very difficult situation. Talking about just this road, I really liked this part of the road because you can actually see a long stretch and we are still climbing, and overall, you know what I mean, it is just amazing feeling, can't be described. And I really want to encourage you guys, if you guys want to come with us next year again for this ride, I'm thinking, and prayerfully let's go ahead in this ride again. It'll be amazing, it is worth it. So let's start praying. And I already shared the summary with you guys of this video, so you can now just enjoy the roads, bends, the twisties, the trucks. It's fun. Alright.
Now after this loop, I forgot the name of the loop, but it will be written somewhere. Now it feels like okay, now Ladakh has come. Now just now I don't have like my, what do you call that, DJ Action 2. The battery module, the extra battery that it has, that doesn't have that, what do you call that, waterproofing, you know. So if there is no waterproofing, that simply means that there is no dust proofing also. I'm just worried about that. Whereas the camera module is waterproof, 10 meters or something. Oh, nice man! Look this mountain. This rock has been cut so nicely. Looks pretty amazing. I got this on the right time. I switched on my action camera. I had no idea that we had such a beautiful road that I can probably show off in a video. Challenging. I hope no cars or truck is the problem in this narrow road, you know. Whoa, look at this, it looks like a desert, man. And the greenery of Himachal is slowly fading away, but I have heard that greenery is there in this route. These are the DR team working hard daily, day and night. They are showing thumbs up to us. They are like, all the best brothers, good, God has been gracious to you guys. He is always gracious. Oh, look at that, man. One thing for sure, when you are coming to Ladakh by bike ride and you are riding the bike, I'm sure you'll have so many things to capture, but you won't be able to at once, you know. So either you'll have to have a huge memory and a good battery backup. Now what I have done to my action camera is, even though I don't have good memory, I have only 100 GB, I don't know how much is left also. I have to check out. And got a power bank attached, so it is backing me up pretty well. Chalo.
I know the videos are getting long and also boring, but actually I couldn't stop myself from recording these. They are so beautiful, and even though it is long, actually it could have been way longer. It's just because my storage was less and battery was also an issue. Battery was not that issue, but storage was an issue. So however, I thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned, and there are more videos coming. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.